This is extremely important to understand if you're an investor. December 19, 2025. You hear everybody talking about Japan raising interest rates. But what I'm here to do is to make the complex very, very simple and tie together a logical circuit to help keep you calm and keep you stoic so you truly understand what is happening. Of course, everything I share is not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm only going to share with you with full transparency exactly what I'm doing. You need to understand micro and macroeconomics. This is a very important video. Block everything out and sit through this whole video, because if you don't understand the implications of what I'm about to teach you, you're going to stay in the same trap over and over and over again. This is extremely simple. If someone like me can figure this out, you can too. But it's on purpose that we don't understand the implications of interest rates and inflation. And if you can understand how to beat inflation, you will think of investing completely different. You won't be waiting for price predictions or hopium, or I hope that they flip the switch. I hope that they wipe out my debt. I hope. It's the greatest drug ever sold to humanity. That's not how wealth is built. Built through discipline, consistency, systems and processes, and understanding how to move your money through the system based on inflation. So we keep hearing around Japan raising interest rates. Here's how deep this is. Ray Dalio warned you 5 years ago about the Japan's problem. 500% debt to income ratio. Their government to debt GDP is over 200%. China's over 300% debt to income ratio. And America's at 120% debt to income ratio. America's one of the lowest compared to those big three. And that's important in this conversation. But Ray Dalio warned us 5 years ago about Japan having zero interest rates, basically 0% interest rates. They would pay you to borrow money. This is where you keep hearing about this reverse carry trade. Because they're about to raise rates. People are borrowing at near to zero, and they're going to have to pay back these loans. This is going to cause, and you're already seeing it, the anticipation of it, a US and global market collapse. Now, if you understand what you're invested in, you should be excited about this because it's going to give you great buying opportunities. But the fear of this is causing the markets to come down. So if they raise interest rates, it's just math, guys. People will sell off US stocks to start paying back the debt because it was 0%. Now remember, there's only debt in the system. This is where this conversation gets very logical. There's only debt in the system. So America's at 120% debt to income ratio. Trump told you 7 years ago you're going to be on an even playing field monetarily. Before you know it, he was worried about US debasement of our currency. Larry Fink, I've showed you the videos over and over again, said if you're worried, he flipped on us. He said, I was wrong. Bitcoin's a flight to quality, a flight to safety. He said, if you're worried about your country's debasement of your currency, it might be a good hedge. You need to learn to hedge around debasement of your currency. American dollar is fiat, fake, nothing backed. Japan's currency is fiat, fake, nothing backed. They ran such low interest for such a long period of time, the Ponzi scheme had to stop. So they're going to raise rates and it's going to collapse the Ponzi scheme. That's where the Xrp narrative comes in with liquidity. There's a massive liquidity crisis. But here's the thing. Trump now is going to change out the Fed chair in first quarter. The new Fed chair coming in guaranteed, this is where it's going to get really bullish, very scary if you don't understand this, will bring rates down as close to zero as possible. Why do you think Japan's in trouble right now? And America's only at 120% debt to income ratio. Just like Ray Dalio says, this can go on for a long time. It can lower interest rates as low as possible and print a shitload of money and monetize a shitload of debt because you can make it go for a long time. As long as Americans stay in the debt trap and they keep monetizing debt and buying more shit they can't afford to impress people they don't like and don't understand how to invest in assets and beat inflation, you can keep this going forever. There's always a buyer, there's always a seller. There's always someone willing to pay debt and there's always someone willing to earn it. That's all it is. There's no real money in the system. So if Japan's at 500% debt to income ratio and they have to raise rates now and it's going to destroy their economy, and we're going to have a temporary pullback because of this. Trump's at 120% debt to income ratio, so they can monetize a shitload of debt. And this can go on for a long time. But in that long time, there's ups and there's downs, and they're giving you hints. Trump media is in the top 20 for Bitcoin treasuries. Eric Trump's American Bitcoin in the top 21 now for Bitcoin treasuries. XXI, who just went public, is a Bitcoin treasury number 3 in Bitcoin treasuries, was connected to Cantor, which is Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary of our country. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, Genius Act, stablecoins, use US treasuries. basically saved the bond market? World Liberty Financial, World Bank. And remember, they said if you're worried about the debasement of your country's currency, Bitcoin might be a good hedge. Gold's at an all-time high, silver's at an all-time high. Guys, it's just math. I don't give a shit what you invest in, but you have to learn to beat inflation. So here's what's going to happen is yes, it's going to be bumpy probably this week and on the back end of the year because of Japan's reverse carry trade. They're going to raise rates. This is what everybody's talking about. They're going to raise rates. It's going to suck liquidity out of the US because people have to pay that debt back. And then the Japan currency goes up. So people move into the Japanese currency. It's just how markets work. That's going to pull assets down, which give you a great opportunity to get great companies, great technologies. I call cryptos technologies the one I invest in at very fair prices, Warren Buffett. You should be celebrating if it's red because it's going to come back. And the reason why it will come back, because they're going to have to lower rates and print a ton of money, which debases your US dollar. And big money is going to move into gold, silver, Bitcoin, fixed supply assets. That's how I make my moves. No emotion, no bullshit, no hype, no hopium. Facts, figures, numbers, logic. It's not a super cycle, guys. It's not different this time. It's the same shit every single time since there's been a market. You're being played. Yes, you get a lot of views if you say something's gonna go to fucking thousands of dollars. I used to play that game, but it hurts a lot of people, man. The reality is, it's the same game every time. So here's how I beat inflation, called Capital DR. It's a system that is macro and microeconomic. You can plug in assets based on the economic cycle during that time. Number one is cash flow. The reason why I focus on cash flow and not cash, because cash is trash. As long as we're in a debt-based system that has no back into the currency, cash is trash. It's that simple. You get paid in someone else's debt. So when I get paid income from my active income, I first take my income and I invest first. I don't spend, then save like Americans do. I invest, then I spend what's left. That's made me financially free. So my first goes 10% into cash generating dividends that give me what? More cash flow, increasing my income every single week. Now I have income from active income, cash flow from dividends, and all the excess outside of debts and non-negotiables, I'm running lean and mean on the personal side. I put that into assets. I don't care what you invest in, but I invest in assets that have fixed supply. I believe are going to be here for the next 100 years that are outside of the fiat currency that is inflationary. I use things like Xrp, Bitcoin. Those are deflationary assets. You have fixed supplies. One's based on its utility, and the other one's based on its scarcity. Again, you can do gold, silver. You just have to learn how to beat inflation. So when it's red, I'm super excited. I buy more. Like I love, like today and yesterday was awesome. Then when these assets go up, we're going to move Bitcoin into L in capital DR. We're not going to touch Bitcoin, most scarce asset in the world. I'm just going to keep accumulating. When my assets go up, I don't just sit there and watch them go. It's crazy. Pull profits. We pull profits on the way up. And P, I put it into P. My first time I pull profits, my first fruits goes into protection. I put my money in cash value life insurance, guaranteed principal. Markets come collapsing down. I'm calm as a cucumber. My money's protected. My family's insured. And then I created a family bank, which is leverage. You need cash in these. There's cash value life insurance. Then when you're panicking and running from the fire from assets that I believe in, because you didn't pull profits, you're panic selling, I use leverage from my family bank. When the bear market hits, I'll use leverage at very low interest. I'll borrow at 5% and I'll go buy your fear because I believe in what you're running from, and I'll wait for the next cycle. When you're trying to get rich quick coming back in, I sell and I pay off the debt. Now I have free assets. That's all it is, guys. It's just interest. Someone's paying it or someone's earning it. That's it. We were trapped. The American monetary system and schooling system taught us to be slaves. How to trade time for money, how to spend, then save. What we save in is a 401k. We get taxed on the back end of our life. And inflation erodes all our buying power. Learn the game so you don't get played. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. Love you guys. God bless you.